All right, raise your right hand for me, Ms. Harris. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Speak up and say yes.
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Ms. Harris, you're before the court for State of Georgia versus Brittany Harris, 2025 CR 00268 for disorderly conduct. Mr. Lynch, what is your client plead to the offense of disorderly conduct?
Judge, she pleads guilty.
By entering a plea of guilty, Ms. Harris, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, ma'am?
Yes, yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, can I ask you this? Really, I didn't do nothing.
Hold on. The best thing to do is to talk to your attorney, but let me get through the factual basis, and then once I hear the facts, then I can hear whether you disagree with them or not. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Just that way I'll know what you're talking about. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On or about December 19th of 2024, Officer F as in Frank, last name Shelley, was dispatched to 6000 North Terminal Parkway, also known as the Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International Airport, in reference to a disorderly female. Upon arrival, the defendant was sitting outside door N3 in the smoking area, screaming verbally, intimidating passengers, and cursing in the presence of minors. Officer Shelley at that time approached the defendant and gave her an opportunity to calm down and cease the cursing. However, the defendant refused, and she continued cursing and screaming, and she physically became combative when Officer Shelley attempted to detain her. At that time, the defendant was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve, 90 days balance suspended, and the defendant can get credit since the day of lockup.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
Before you speak, can I just say something? So, Judge, we had, and if Ms. Harris wants to speak, I'll certainly give her that opportunity. But I had previously spoken to Ms. Harris about this case, and I was going to ask the court to sentence her rather than the 90 days that the state's recommending. We feel that 60 days would be more than adequate.
Really?
Man, hold on.
You envious of me, man. Possessed with it. The Lord keep telling y'all so possessed with envy.
Man.
Yeah, I'm not the Lord. It's nothing that beautiful in his eyesight, man.
The hell? All right, I'm gonna need whoever said the expletive to mute your device.
Your Honor, can I explain to you? They keep harassing me. I'm smoking outside. What have I? Why?
Okay. Ms. Harris, let me ask you a question. Were you smoking outside the airport?
Yes.
Okay.
They've been harassing me all the time.
So you weren't in the airport, you were smoking
out. No, I
out.
was not. I was outside smoking.
Okay.
She come grabbing me. Come on, what am I doing? I'm smoking.
Okay. Have they done this before? Okay, let me just ask you this, Ms. Harris. Were you traveling that day? Did they delay your travel at all?
Yes, I was finna get on the plane.
Where were we going, Ms. Harris?
I'm from Birmingham. I was about to go home.
Okay.
So all the time.
So, Ms. Harris, I get that. My understanding is they have really shut down the airport. They have cut it down to where it.
She lying on. I'm talking to her. Can I talk? I have no rights in this world, man.
Ms. Harris, I'm listening to you. It's okay, Whitson. Ms. Harris, just listen to me. So they have some new rules about the airport, and they have really, really like slapped down on people being at the airport. Now the rule is if you don't have a ticket that you can show them whether you're outside the airport, inside the airport, or on MARTA. If you at the airport, yeah. If you don't,
plays all down.
man, it is bad. If you don't have a ticket to show them that you are flying, they didn't ask.
No one else. Everybody out there smoking.
I got you. I got you. All right.
Your Honor, I'm in my room. They never let me out.
How long has she been in?
Since December 19th.
Ms. Harris, let me ask you this: do you, if I let you out, do you have some place to go that is not the airport?
Yes, ma'am. I would never attend there no more, Your Honor. I promise.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Harris, I'm going to cut it down to 60 days and credit since the date of lockup. So I'll accept your plea, 12 months to serve 60 days. Balance will be suspended.
Really? I'm supposed to sign out. This is my first offense.
Hold on. As long as you, okay, now listen, but as long as you do not go back to Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport unless you can actually show a ticket for a flight on that day. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can go back with the sheriff's office.
Okay, well, can I ask you this?
Yes, ma'am.
Them to let me out. They not letting me out. They letting others out.
They won't let you out of your cell.
I'm going home for these.
Well, I think you might have enough credit for that almost.
What you mean credit? What is credit?
Credit since the date you got locked up. I think you'll be let out soon.
What is soon?
Let's see, the 19th.
Talk's over.
You got about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. And you'll be through the snowstorm. That way you won't have to be outside in the snow, okay?
You have a nice one, Your Honor.
You too, Miss Harris. Thank you so much. You take care.
Your Honor, may I just address something really quickly?
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Ponder. Go ahead and put on the record.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. So I just would like to bring it to the court's attention. So initially, when we did do negotiations, I went down to the courtroom to speak with Mr. Lynch and Mr. Taylor to make sure that we were ready to go for the court once you were on the bench. I know that the court has the final say-so during sentencing. I think my biggest issue is that counsel had indicated that this was a negotiated plea. Then once we actually speak.
At no point did I indicate Ms. Harris was
I'm sorry, Mr. Lynch. I will not interrupt you. So may you not interrupt me, please.
Please don't make false statements to the court.
Okay. So my biggest issue is that when we do negotiated pleas with counsel, it is not until the court acts, and then at that point it is as if it is non-negotiated. So I would just ask in the future for counsel to indicate whether or not this is negotiated or non-negotiated prior.
Can I please respond? So I understand what Ms. Ponder is indicating, and I have no problem doing that. However, it is blatantly false. At no point did I state that Ms. Harris was going to be a negotiated plea. I had determined it was going to be a non-negotiated plea when I first indicated her. So if Ms. Ponder is stating—
Yeah, but usually you say, Judge, this is non-negotiated, and I didn't hear that at the end of—
Sure, but Ms. Ponder stated I said it was negotiated, which I did not. And
okay, but she might have been under the same impression that I was, that usually if it's non-negotiated, you will say that. That's neither here nor there. I understand that if y'all negotiate something, then both sides want to rely on the fact that it's been negotiated. I don't have a problem. The issue that I have with Ms. Harris is she seems to not be altered significantly right now. I think it could get worse, but if she has the ability to get to stability while she's not altered, I'm hoping that that'll be now as opposed to waiting the additional 30 days. And that was my only concern, is that I think that at this point, she's less altered than she could be. And when she is less altered, it is a possibility that she could actually make her way to someplace that is not the airport for security purposes or for safety purposes. I'm hoping that will happen, but Ms. Harris will probably be back before me, and I anticipate that. and I get where you're coming from, Ms. Ponder. I'm just trying to, I guess, lessen the number of people who are going to be in the jail and require a higher level of monitoring, as opposed to individuals who I know can handle themselves in the jail. You know, that's it. I'm just trying to balance it a little bit, but I get what you're saying, and your point is well taken.
Thank you.
Who's next? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to make one.
Mr. Lynch, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with you. I'm just saying that if you all negotiate, then if you don't, and it's non-negotiated, indicate that, and I'll go both ways.
And I'm
All
totally
right.
fine with that. When Ms. Ponder came down here, she asked what case we need to go over, and we discussed all the cases that we were going to negotiate. And then we talked about those cases. At no point did Ms. Harris's name come up one way or the other. And so if I was going to negotiate, I didn't say this was going to be a negotiated plea. I didn't say that to Ms. Hagler. I didn't say that to Ms. Ponder. And so I just, I understand if she wants us to say at the first if this is going to be negotiated or non-negotiated, but she didn't ask. And so it's just a little disturbing to me to have a statement that I made a statement that this was going to be negotiated when I made no such statement. And I that's all I'll say.
Okay, well, your point is well taken too. Who is next? Do we have Brown, which I'm saving to the end of the calendar because it looks like it's going to be some information I'm going to need about things that contribute to a bond determination.